everybody. Well, I had some leftover stuff to do. I just got too tired, and the video that I was trying to edit, lots of little videos out, was getting too long. So we'll see if I'm picking up in the right place here. For Psionics! More fun with Psionics. All right. So in the Dungeon Master Guide, we talked about attacking creatures' total intelligence and wisdom, when they don't have any psionic ability whatsoever. And then what all the little things that could happen. There's a note. There's like all these little small pieces of information because, all the tiny print in the original DM's guide. It's easy to miss something. And I'm sure I did not mention this. Note regarding insanity. In most cases, the fact that a creature has been inflicted will not be immediately evident to associates. Behavior will make the condition suspect as appropriate to the form of affliction. It then has the psionic attack ranges and damage adjustments. And this is similar to what we saw in Eldritch, which I have down here off camera. It gives a short, medium, and long range, and then it explains that attacks in series add 50% to range for each psionic length. 2 equals 200%, 3 equals 250%. Expenditure of double and triple points by an individual will double or triple the range attack modes B, C, and D. That's Mind Thrust, Ego Whip, and ID Insinuation. So what they're saying there is you can pump more points into those specific attacks, and the range can then reach longer. Then it has area of effect for your psionic attacks, which they define the psionic blast as 1/2 inch base, 6-inch length, 2-inch terminus cone. A Mind Thrust is 1 creature. Ego Whip is 1 creature. Hidden Situation is 2 inches by 2-inch area within range. And Psychic Crush is 1 creature. User may use only Defense Mode G, Thought Shield. That's against the Psychic Crush. Medium attack range reduces damage by 20%, fractions rounded up. Long range attacks reduce the attacker's effective total psionic strength by 1 category, 25 points, and reduce damage by 20%, fractions rounded up. If the attacker is already in the 1 through 25 strength range, damage is reduced 50%, fractions being dropped. Okay, so those are good little notes to know. Then we move on to some more combat notes over here. The psionic combat notes. Creatures involved in psionic combat cannot engage in any other activity. However, psionic combat takes place very quickly in segments rather than rounds, and is usually over in a very short time. For this reason, when psionic combat is begun, a good DM will usually just stop everything else until it's taken care of. This may be when the other players get bored. Remember they said they get bored? I read that, and I was like, why? Well, think about it. When you're doing normal combat, even with the magic, it's usually not, we're stopping everything just for the magic users. And they're going to have this little magic battle. So that could be the deal. So we'll come back to that and spitball some solutions. Psionically attacked creatures will automatically throw up a defense if they can do so, and will use the best type, most applicable they can. So you're going to go to your best first. At least the creatures will. Players, you got more choices. It is possible to engage in only one psionic activity in addition to defense modes at a time. So you can still do a psionic activity while defending yourself. Example, a psionic will, while defending, could either attack or use psionic discipline. It is never possible to attack and use a psionic discipline or to use two psionic disciplines simultaneously. You've got two things going on. That's it. So if you're defending already, you can do one more thing. So you have to choose. You're going to do discipline or you're going to attack. If you're already doing the discipline and you get attacked, well, you're going to have to defend. So now you're going to have to drop doing that discipline or keep doing the discipline, keep defending. It should make some kind of sense because you can't do a whole lot of other stuff. In Psionic Combat Table 4C, Psionic Blast attack upon non-psionic creature. The attack creature's total intelligence and wisdom is used to figure saving throws. However, wisdom is not a standard given attribute of monsters. To compute the wisdom of non-psionic monsters, use the following table. Another table. So they have the intelligence of creature. So this is, all you've got is intelligence. Low intelligence is wisdom range 2 to 8. Average intelligence is wisdom range 3 to 12. Very high intelligence is wisdom range 4 to 16. Exceptional intelligence is the wisdom range of 8 to 18. And it has 2d6 plus 6 in parentheses. Super genius, 8 to 20, 44 plus 4 in parentheses. Godlike, 9 to 24 in parentheses, 3d6 plus 6. Creatures below intelligence have negligible wisdom. So that, I think, is all the rules that they have given us for psionics. So our next step will be to take a look at Gilligan here. Toolkit. I got me some glow-in-the-dark dice because, they glow in the dark. I need blinky dice next. All right. So we got some dice. I'll put them to the side here. You can't see my dice, but I got real dice. All right, so let's get Gilligan out and take a look at Gilligan real quick here. I did take notes, at least a little bit, so that's helpful. Yeah. So, Gilligan. All right. So, let me get a fresh piece of paper. And let's see if we can't start figuring out old Gilligan here. All right. Now, so we're going to go back to the player's handbook, which was page 110. See, you will learn pages. I will rehab this stuff memorized again. I used to have most of these books memorized. That's really scary. I could oh, where's that rule? Oh, that's on page 36 of the player's handbook. Be like, what? So you really have been reading your D&D a lot. Okay. Oh, here. Yep, psionics in the appendixes. All right, so Gilligan. Let's look at his stats. Okay, he has a strength of 13, an intelligence of 10, so he doesn't get any bonuses there. Wisdom 8, no bonuses there. Remember, we gotta redo some things on him. But his charisma was 15. So that was one of our sticking points. Remember. So what do we do? What do we do when you're converting from edition to edition, and they've made changes in the rules that now means this character shouldn't have psionics? Well, I said last time that one option is to just be like, well, he just does. And he will continue to have psionics. And we're not going to worry about it. That's a valid option. The other option is You could reroll all his abilities and hope they're better and put them in the spot. So let's have a little look here. So we got a player's handbook, and we're going to creating a player character. Let's see. Let's see. All right, actually, how to create your character. It's in here. Probably because there's more than one option listed. I think I remember that. Creating a player character, page 11. Okay. Method 1. Okay. Yep. 3d6. That's the old method. Looks like we've gone to the 4d6 method. While you drop the lowest die. That's method 1 suggested. So we can reroll. Plugging the numbers in where we want. Or one of the other rolling methods, which basically is just allowing a lot more rolls and picking the highest scores, or a bunch of nonsense that I never saw anybody do. Most I ever saw a DM do is like, hey, you can, oh no, that character sucks, reroll. So they maybe get 2 or 3 times, and then the DM's like, nah, done. You gotta pick one of these, right? So no, nobody. I just read the other methods in here, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot those were in there. Nobody does those. So yeah, so we could reroll and hope it's better, or we could just do the obvious thing and add 1 to charisma and make it 16 charisma, which is what I'm going to do. So Gilligan will have a strength of 13. I'm not going to subtract because he's already at a disadvantage. Like if he was moving from original D&D to advanced D&D, he was rolled using 3d6 instead of 4d6 and dropping the lowest. Yet, I mean, all things considered, he's not that bad of a character. All right, Gilligan. Gilligan .1e. Because that's his addition. All right. So, now the next thing we had to do is figure out his new psionic ability stuff and strength and whatnot, remember? So his old abilities, which I think you did a page for. Let me see here. Maybe not. Maybe I figured it all out. So he did roll 91%, even though, so like if you made him now and you roll a 91%, I don't think he would have gotten enough bonuses to lower. So he would get, if he was generated with a 16, and that was put in his charisma, he would get only a 4 out of a, so he would have had to have rolled a 96 or better if he wasn't being converted but had been created fresh. But with the 4d6 method, there's probably statistically, I'd have to go look, but statistically the spread is probably a bit higher to get some better numbers. So there's that. Now we have to figure out his psionic strength and all that stuff. Well, we also would have gotten to roll. Now he got 2. In the old system, you get 1 attack mode. You didn't get to roll for defense modes yet, so we're going to get to do that. So that's exciting. And you roll to see if. So what I think I should do is go ahead and do those rolls. Maybe Gilligan will get cooler, and see what we get. So, psionic endowed creature. All right, character. So we're going to roll the percentile dice. So we got this one. That's 2 10s. And I got a 30. Where's the camera? Where's my hand? 37. There we go. So 37 it is, and 37, he gets 2 attack modes this time around. Gilligan's gotten cooler. Now, I'm going to just keep the one that he originally had, which was Psionic Blast. But if you had like a psionic character that wasn't first level, that was being converted, but was like a much higher level, then you're going to have to do some thinking on whether you even need to re-roll anything, whether that's a benefit or not. And if you do re-roll, I would probably go with the take whichever's better. In other words, you re-roll, you see what you get, and if it's better, let the character have that. If it's worse, keep the original. That makes the most sense to me. Yes, I can be benevolent. Damn. So now we're going to do, I'm rolling for the defense modes. How many he gets? He rolled a 25. He gets 2 defense modes. Okay, so he gets 2 defense. So I'll make that little note. All right, so now I get to pick, which is cool. Except I don't know what his power is, so we need to figure out what his, points are for that. So he gets 4 points. So on his psionic strength, which is what we're working to figure out here, or his psionic ability, so he can have his psionic attack strength and defense strength, is we take the initial roll. So his initial roll that we used to figure out his powers before, I should have that written down over here. So let me see. Determine was psionic potential. That's the 85 I rolled, right? And that gave us the abilities. And then when we went to go figure out his attack strength, yeah. So I'm going to use that original 85% because I have that already. And it wasn't a bad roll. I mean, I could do worse. Then I get to add to that the +4. And now he's got a point strength of 89. Okay. So his base then is 89. If I use his 85. Or we could re-roll it and see what happens. I re-rolled it. I got like a 56. It would be better for me to keep his old number and just add that modifier that he gets for a charisma of 16, which is what we're going to do. All right, so now I get to go look at at the attack modes, and let's see what they do. Sonic Blast is a wave of brain force in effect much like a stunning news to the mind. It is costly in attack point expenditure, but is the only psionic attack that can affect non-psionic creatures. Well, he's keeping it. The attack is cone-shaped wave. Force, 1/2 diameter, source, 2-inch diameter, in its terminus 6-inch distance. And what they're talking about is probably the grid distances. Mind Thrust is a stabbing attack which seeks a short synopsis of the defender. The attack is individual. Ego Whip attacks the ego, either by feelings or of inferiority or worthlessness, or by superiority or megalomania. The attack affects but a single creature. Initiation seeks to lose uncontrollable subconscious mind of the defender, pinning up against superego and attack effects. And Sonic Crush, a massive assault upon all neurons and the brain. I'm going to go with the Mind Thrust. It's a lower power one, but he doesn't have that many points. And the Psionic Blast takes a lot of points. So that's what I'm going to go with. Now he gets 2 defenses, and again, I get to choose. So what do they do? Mind Blank attempts to hide the mind from attack, making its parts unidentifiable. That's cool. Thought Shield cloaks the mind so as to hide first one part, then another. Mental Barrier is carefully built through repetition wall exposures. Intellect Fortress is a defense which calls forth the powers of the ego and superego to stop attacks. Tower of Iron Will relies only upon the superego to build an unassailable haven for the brain. Well, I'm going to go with Tower of Iron Will because this sounds cool. And then I'm going to go with Thought Shield. So 1 high cost, 1 lower cost one. All right. So we have that figured out. Now, so why don't we see what we get this time if I roll for abilities. The magical like powers. 22. 2 minors, which is what he has. So we'll just keep that. So he still has what he has from before. I'm going to make sure that those are still in here, and he's not forbidden from having them. If there was any changes there. That's their thing. If they make changes like that where suddenly you're the thief or the whatever's not supposed to have this power, but they have always had it, well, DM Fayat, they keep it. I just want to know if these things are still in here. Domination, still in here. Okay. And then mind over body, still in here. So, Gilligan's been converted. And remember this, the sonic ability, the psi ability, you double that, and you times it by 2, and then that gives you your and you divide it again. You have a strength box and a defense box, attack and defense, where both is 89. But your total strength would be double that. So, the total. So that would be 18, carry the 1, 178 is his total. he still can't, I don't think he can. There was a thing about having to have, like, 100 points to attack something. Yeah, you have to have 100 points to attack something that doesn't have any psionics. He still can't do that. Poor Gilligan. Maybe 2E he'll get cooler. Maybe by 2E, our first level Gilligan can finally psionically attack a cat. Unless, of course, cats have psionics in your game. Anyway, we converted Gilligan. He is now cooler. He now has Psychic Blast, Mind Thrust, Tower of Iron Will, Thought Shield, Domination, and Mind over Body. So he has, and he went up 1 ability score in Charisma. So he is cooler than he was before, our little buddy. Also, we could change his race if we wanted to. We can call him a little buddy. We could make him a halfling if we wanted to now. But right now, I got him as a human still. But we can always change him. See what we decide in 2E, right? You know what? I think I'll probably go ahead and publish this today instead of on Monday. So we can wrap up AD&D and move on to something else, the 2E stuff. Everybody have a great St. Patrick's Day. Stay awesome. Roll your dice. Rock your rolls. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. We do the fawns. Hey. And everyone have a good one. Bye.